You got schooled with Penny and Martin, the real and raw about today's education.
Listener discretion advised, not for the faint of heart.
Nor the easily offended.
Welcome to the 4th episode of You've Got Schooled. I'm Martin.
I'm Penny.
And what is the name of this?
Hot seat!
We've tried to do multiple takes so far, so I think those will go at the end as bloopers, and it's mainly of us either laughing or wheezing or singing.
Martin's first F-bomb appears in the bloopers.
I thought I hit pause.
I don't think you did.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe like the front part of the...
Red flag it!
Yes.
Instant replay.
We might try and do the beepy thing.
Call it back.
Yes.
Let's go,
I apologize.
Chiefs!
Okay. Do you want to start? Are we going to do like back and forth?
Let's go back and forth.
Okay.
So this episode, we are calling Hot Seat. So
H-O-T, hot.
H-O-T, hot. We've come up with 4 questions, right?
Yes.
You don't know what my questions are.
I do not.
I don't know what your questions are.
You do not.
That's why it's called a hot seat. Okay. So 2 of the questions are about education.
Yes.
2 of them aren't.
Right.
So I'm going to ask you the first one.
Okay. Is it about education? Or do
not.
I not know because it's hot seat?
It's hot seat. So
okay.
No, you don't.
Okay.
So number 1.
Oh, jeez. Kind of nervous. Like sweaty palms. Do you see the sweat?
I do see the sweat.
Sorry.
Alrighty. Question 1. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a physical therapist for the NFL. I actually started going to college at KU for it.
Really?
Yes. And then I realized I was in class with a bunch of morons, which were all the people that I'd be working on. And it was like, yep, I'm good. So I ended up changing my first semester.
Huh.
But originally that's what I wanted to do.
Why?
I don't know. I loved sports. I loved playing sports, but I had enough injuries in my life that I actually did really well with knowing what to do. I thought it would be fun. Honestly, be on the NFL line. Kind of nice. A little bit of
I get that.
Travis Kelce's.
I get that.
Yeah, so, but then it disappeared really quickly because I realized how stupid some of the people were that I was in class with. And
I got you.
Like, I don't know if that's
Now,
what
were
I wanted.
those people that were the athletes, or were those people that actually wanted to be?
I think it was more so, I don't even know if it was the athletes, or I didn't even bother to ask. Like it was, they didn't take it seriously. They didn't want to show up. They would send random people in their spot because how the universities have it, you have to show up to every class. Right. And there's somebody that sits out there.
They
with
would
a clipboard.
show up for somebody.
Yeah.
They'd send somebody else to show up
Mark
in their
off
place.
their name, and then it was just like, what are we doing here? And so I don't know if that was a good enough reason to switch over. Also, women aren't in that line, especially with professional sports.
Mm-hmm.
At least when I was going to college.
Right.
I think you see it more now. But yeah, I thought it would be fun. I love football and watch every game, and I thought it would be a blast.
Okay, can I ask another question totally off topic then?
Is this part of the hot seat?
Kind of.
Okay.
Because you know me,
Mm-hmm.
I am loyal to the foil. And are you buying in to all of this conspiracy theories about T Swift and T Kels and all of that? Are you buying into that?
Buying into which portion? Like that they're actually together?
Like, do you think they're
I think they're
actually
married.
together? You think they're married?
I think they're married. I think wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and they got married. I really do. He went out and bought a house in October.
They do that all the time.
I understand, but he got rid of his bachelor pad for a house.
That doesn't mean he's married.
In the suburbs.
That doesn't mean he's married.
No man, 34, 35 years old, single bachelor pad at his ranking, goes out and buys a family home.
Did you?
Unless it's for his mama.
Did you ever watch his reality show?
I did.
I did too.
I'm glad he's grown mentally.
Me too.
Okay, this is not the Kelsey show.
No, it's not the Kelsey show.
But go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs.
Okay.
How about them?
Have them.
Chiefs. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
You're next. Oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous.
You should be.
Oh no.
It's going to get deep.
Seriously?
It is. Here we go.
Oh jeez.
What is one thing that you would die to keep? One.
One thing that I die to keep, one thing that I die for.
Die to keep, like going.
Oh, die to keep going.
Don't.
Come
it's not on there.
Away. Come sail away.
You did it.
I did. One thing that I would die to keep going.
Was that too hot?
I don't even know really kind of how to wrap my head around that question, to tell you the truth.
Okay. Do I need to put it in a different way?
Would you put it in a different way for me, please?
How about just simple? One thing that you would die for, but your lovely baby can't be one of them.
Okay. It's really ironic that you ask this question. We're doing civil disobedience in a junior class in junior English. And this was an exact question that we had as a conversation piece yesterday. And I would die for my faith.
I knew it was going to be one of those. I probably should have slipped that in there.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's all right. I die for my faith. Simple as that.
So I guess you could die to keep it going.
Yeah.
In others.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I like that one.
Thanks. Good question. All right. I'm next. Are you ready?
Geez.
What's your biggest fear? Other than your children dying.
Losing my mind. Like, seriously, losing my mind. My mom was diagnosed bipolar schizophrenic, but schizophrenic when she turned 37. And I'm getting there. And so I am mortified. I've got schizophrenia on both sides. Both my brother and sister have schizophrenia, and both my parents had bipolar manic depressant. So losing my mind, like literally.
Like not just like it's a figurative statement.
Like literally losing my mind. And I get really irritated, like sometimes when I have my little manic episodes, even though I don't know if I consider them manic episodes, if somebody says that I'm crazy, like I freak out. Like almost to the point where it's like, well, crapola, like am I actually going crazy? Or voices. Like if I hear something, like I have to verify that somebody else heard it, but it's not paranoia of, there's a spirit. It's paranoia. Holy shit, am I hearing voices? So I've even told Andy, if I start experiencing or expressing anything like that, please check me in. Like really check me in.
Do you find that it gets easier for you to talk about that? Like it's not some big, huge secret that you keep?
I think so, just because I've been around it for so long, and it was very taboo. It was taboo in my family. Like you didn't mention that your brother had schizophrenia, or you didn't mention that your sister is bipolar. Definitely don't mention about your parents. But I've learned to live with it. There's a lot of things that I don't do in fear. I don't take really any medication. I don't drink a whole lot, maybe 4 to 6 times a year. I've never done a drug. I've never even smoked a cigarette. And it wasn't that I didn't want to try it, I would try something like that, or would want to, especially when I was younger. But the fear of becoming mentally ill, because that is a very big trigger for somebody that has mental illness and mental disorders, is drug use. And so
I think that it's great that you feel comfortable enough talking about it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Took a long time.
I can understand that.
Took a long time. But I'm comfortable in myself, and I don't want my girls to be, because it is genetic.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to be freaking out if they start having these feelings. And so I think by me being open about it and them seeing, okay,
it's okay.
If I'm starting to feel this, maybe I need to talk to mom.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, I like that.
What's yours?
Okay. What is one thing if you had to do over, you would?
Dead air. One thing, if I could do over, just one thing.
Just one.
I always used to say I would go back and relive high school. I know, and a lot of people make that face. It was an awesome time for me. But now I don't think that I would go back and relive that again.
Why? Are you saying would it reliving it during the time in which you went to high school? Not now.
Gen X right here, 80s lady. Best decade ever. Yes. Best. Why does Andrew get to get up? If Andrew gets up, we'll all get up. It'll be anarchy. Woo!
Ooh, should that be an extra credit?
Extra credit, 5 points extra credit to the first person that comes to my room to tell me what movie that quote was from.
Don't Google it.
Yeah, don't Google it. Cheaters.
What was it about high school that you liked?
I don't really even know. It was just, that's not the answer to the question. But I did enjoy it. Okay, little self-disclosure, I guess. I went to a very large junior high school.
Large in the sense of
like it was a 6A. I would have been transferring straight into a 6A high school.
Gotcha.
Okay. And I absolutely loathed it. It was a horrible time in my life. I was bullied a lot. It was just really bad. And my dad taught and coached at the high school that I ended up going to. Mm-hmm. And when I was getting ready to, it was the summer between my 8th and my freshman year. And my parents said, you can either go to Emporia High, or you can go to Northern Heights and you can just ride with Dad every day. Sorry. And so I thought long and hard about it, and I decided to go to Northern Heights. It was a fresh start. I didn't know anybody.
How much smaller of a school was it?
Emporia High, at that point in time, I believe it would have been a 6A school. Northern Heights was a 3A, 2A. So it's small. And it was just really, I made wonderful friends. I was involved in just about anything that I could be involved in. At one point in time, I was involved in the science club. Don't look at me that way, but I was involved in the science club. I remember. It was just really fun. It was a really, really good time. Made some great friends. Of course, it was high school, so there were trials and tribulations to it too. But I think that's why. It's also why I decided to teach at high school versus junior high. But the one thing that I think that I could go back and relive again, just off the top of my head, I think probably my son, his infant years and into his toddler years, because I don't think I was a very good mom. I had postpartum really bad. And at that point in time, you didn't know what it was.
Yep.
All I knew was that people told me I was supposed to love this child, and I just didn't want him.
Yeah.
It was really hard. It was really a really, really hard time. So I would like to go back and redo that time. Long answer to that question.
I think that's a very good answer.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, here's our education questions in the hot seat.
Okay.
Why do I always get all the clumped when I start talking in the mic? Come away. I know, right? If you could change one thing about education, what would it be?
This is too hard. How do I do this?
Just one?
Just one. Okay. It can only be one.
the amount of flipping testing that we have to do on a day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month basis, on top of being scrutinized about state assessment scores with that little thing hanging over you indicating this is how you're going to get funds.
Do you think most people know that? That's part of our funding?
No, I think a lot of times they think it's just straight taxes, which, I mean, a good portion of taxes is what funds us. But they have to get funds from some other place for buildings and things like that. And I hate saying things.
Okay,
but I think the testing puts a lot of stress on kids. We have midterms, we have finals, we have unit tests, we have quizzes, which I gave my first quiz last week. But I don't feel like the testing displays individual ability where we're needing to focus on their shortcomings. I think the testing, especially state testing, is looking at a whole. And then we have those people that fall between the cracks because we're too worried about the overall mass of the school getting good scores on these tests. I really don't think somebody should be defined by a test.
I agree with you.
So I think that's one thing that I would change, but I know we cannot.
No.
I mean, I think we do it a little bit within our classroom, hence is why I don't get tests. I make it project-based so that they can really show me what they have learned, if they've learned, and what I need to go back and change about my teaching. Maybe it wasn't something to do with them and how they learned, because I try to keep it as open as possible so that they can really show me what they've learned. And if they're not learning something, or a group of them are not being able to show me the skills in which they have learned, that speaks volumes about what I'm doing. And what do I need to do, not what do they need to do.
Right.
So testing, too much testing.
Good answer.
Thanks.
I would put that up in my top.
Okay.
Education question.
Yep.
Okay.
What is one thing that still surprises you in the classroom? Just one.
The audacity of the word vomit.
Oh, yes. Not actual vomit.
No, of word vomit that escapes out of the breathing hole of our students. Yes. It's right here. I always think that there's nothing that could surprise me anymore.
Really? Because so much shocked the shit out of me.
And then someone mentions...
Are you looking for a button?
I am. I'm looking for a button. Like, is this slap button? What is
I think
that?
that's the beating.
Where's
There's
this?
the slap.
Okay. Someone mentions in the room. I didn't say it.
You did it. I'm
scared. I'm a little scared.
Do you want to whisper it and I'll say it? Oh.
In the middle of class. Or the amount of F-bombs that are thrown in class. Or it's just
with ease.
With ease. Like, there's nothing. Or like the amount of times, and I know I've said it to you before, the amount of times that I have been called a effing
B word.
B. Or I'm like, that, can you not come up with new material? We all already know this.
I was called a streetwalker once and told to go back to Broadway on my corner. And I think I actually high-fived the kid because he was actually using very good imagery.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can picture that.
Yeah.
Please don't call me that.
Yeah. I just still, and I get it. our frontal lobes have not been developed yet.
Theirs,
not ours.
Ours are
but
fully.
Theirs. Yeah, I get that. And I try to remember that. And I try to remember that a lot of it is for laughs and giggles. And I'm going to shock the crap out of my friends. And I don't really care about all of it. I completely get that. I get it. And I try to remember that. But
here's the thing, though. Would you have said that or have the audacity?
Oh, heck no!
To say that to one of your teachers?
No.
I know for a fact my mom would have whooped me. Like,
gosh.
actually came to the class and probably whooped me in front of everybody.
Yeah.
But I also had the respect not to.
Well, and I think that's what it comes down to.
Not that they don't have respect, but they don't know that's common.
Really? I mean, we were just talking about
I know.
inappropriate versus appropriate behaviors with our groups yesterday. And you can't tell me, these kids are they're not stupid.
Oh, no.
They are they're smart young people.
But are they socially lacking?
I think, this is just my opinion. I think they don't care.
Okay. Fair enough.
I really don't think they do.
Fair enough.
I think that there's been no real ramifications for it in the past,
right? Or
certainly after consequences, you would learn not to do that. Or But
also, are they? I know you call me something you're not supposed to. You're getting a consequence, and there's follow through.
The consequences don't
match the
action.
Or there's no follow through amongst other parties.
Yes. And I'm sorry, call it me not supposed to be talking about this stuff, but as far as I know, I'm, still got the First Amendment. But you can give a detention until the cows come home.
Right.
They don't work. Detentions don't work. In-school suspensions don't work. I don't think kids that are in out-of-school suspension, with maybe the exception of, there's a few exceptions.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Those things don't matter, because if you look, it's with the students a lot of times that it just continues to happen over and over and over again. They really don't care. I really, really feel like it is a blatant show of
not caring,
not really caring. It is also a blatant sign of lack of character and integrity, which I also do not think they really have a firm grasp of.
Right.
And a lot of times I don't think it's their fault. I am not their parent, and I care deeply about my students, but it is not my responsibility to teach them things that their parents should be teaching them.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things truly should come from home. I do my best to be a positive role model, mm-hmm. and to make a positive impact, mm-hmm. but I cannot make the kind of impact.
There's only so much
that
you can
a parent can make.
Right.
I am not supposed to be the parent
right.
of these children of these young people. So, long answer to that.
No, a good one. Very good.
Okay.
Is this the last one?
Last question
for me?
For you. Yeah. How do you feel about teachers talking about their personal beliefs in class? Because that is it's supposed to be a taboo
right.
topic. Like, students aren't supposed to know what political side of the realm you fall on. Students aren't supposed to know what your religious beliefs are. But how do you feel about that? I know what my opinion
right.
is about that. What's yours?
So we actually were just talking about
we
this
were too.
in my English class. I try my hardest because I don't want to, because teachers are held, or used to be. I don't know anymore. I do feel like several of my students do come to me for personal things, you
which
know.
we've also been talking
yes.
about the past couple of days.
So I try really, really hard to keep both religion and political views out of my classroom. Coming from where I did come from, like, you couldn't talk about anything. They couldn't know that you had children. They couldn't know your first name. It was very, very, they know nothing about you. So transitioning into a public school and being able to have pictures of my girls and my husband and being able to openly talk about my life was a big change. However, I have stayed true, and I continue to stay true to keeping my beliefs as much out of the classroom, maybe not with the interconnections that I have with kids, but out of the classroom as possible, just because I don't want to influence them.
Mm-hmm.
I always tell them, you know, our first semester we were talking, a lot of our literature is based around God and, you know, sin and things.
In American literature,
Yes.
at the very start, you know, when we were talking about William Bradford of Plymouth Plantation, why the you know, Puritan literature, plain style, those types of things.
Yes.
God was very much front and center, and so you use that language.
Yes.
When you're teaching
and
those
so
types of things.
I made it as clear as possible. You know, you believe this is not going against anything. This is not like for fact. If you believe in something else, by all means, like, I want you to continue practicing that. I don't know if I have any students that know my religious basis. I think a lot of times, depending on how you, I guess, set up your because you're going to put yourself in your teaching no matter what. You may be able to catch glimpses of political parties or political beliefs, but I am pretty much, I'm going for, you know, people that are believing in the same things in which I'm believing when it comes to politics. And I know that's very taboo especially at school, but I cannot, like, I just don't feel right putting my political beliefs out there or my religious beliefs out there to influence a student.
And I think that's the key word.
Yes. I will love you no matter what. I don't care if you believe in raccoons as your savior. Like, I am going to love you completely.
Sure.
So I want them to be able to explore and determine their own thoughts without my influence on them.
I had a student ask me yesterday, how come it's so frowned upon for teachers to talk about their personal beliefs? And I said, you know, the answer that I always give is that I am not here to tell you what to think. I am here to teach you how to think, to teach you how to critically think, no matter where your beliefs end up lying.
Right.
I don't want to be the one that slides you, you know, from one side to another, because I want you to take a look at the facts and examine your own heart.
Yes.
To figure out where it is that you lie.
Absolutely.
So it is a huge,
and it's a struggle.
Thing.
And it's a struggle.
It is.
I mean, because no matter what, our personality slide into our lesson planning. And so I think, and I know we have different views.
We do.
And I know that.
But I also think,
I also
want people to know that.
Yeah.
Because so much of society today, if you don't think and believe the way that I do, I loathe every fiber of your being. And that's ridiculous.
No. And I think your friendship and my friendship, our friendship, really contradicts that.
Yes.
Because we do come from opposites.
Yeah.
And so I also think that's why it makes us such
I know.
And I was whispering. So now I'm sitting closer and still whispering. Okay. Good grief.
Last question.
Last question. Holy Toledo.
Oh my gosh. This has got to be the last question.
One.
Sorry.
What was the funniest moment you have had here at our school? I actually put the name of the school, but it's anonymous. Okay, at our school. Do I need to sum it down?
I can't even begin to answer that question.
What about the funniest thing that has happened this year in your classroom? And
Do you know something?
I'm thinking of one specifically. A little memento. Which I don't know. Can we talk about that on here? We can't talk about that. Dang it. It's a good one. It's a good one.
That was hilarious.
It was.
That was hilarious.
Do you have it?
No, I threw it away.
Because you wouldn't even have to say anything. You could have just.
I know. I could have just. Yeah, no, I can't. I don't feel comfortable talking. I don't want to. I don't know. It's nothing bad.
Is there another funny moment?
There's funny moments every day in room 125. What are you talking about?
Can you recall one?
I do remember this one time. It's been several years ago. It was my American Lit class. It's been several years ago. We were taking a break, like a 10-minute break, and I was glancing the internet for stupid dad jokes. Because I would just tell them what is da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And there was one that was so, I don't remember the last time. I'm sure that I have, probably you and I in the library. I laughed as hard as that on
this
Monday. Oh my goodness gracious. It was so funny. But I told this dad, bless you.
So sorry.
Good grief. I told this dad joke. We laughed so hard. This is what Chelsea, Martin and I were laughing at. Oh, you can't see it.
Which makes it funnier.
Never mind.
It's a t-shirt.
It is a t-shirt. It's funny. But yeah, there's a lot of funny moments that happen, and I'm so happy that I laugh in class. I really am. I can't even be serious, and then half the time I end up laughing anyway.
You have to have fun with it.
Yeah.
Okay, shout outs. Do you want to do shout outs real quick?
I don't care. You got a shout out?
I got a shout out.
Okay.
I have some young gentlemen in my second hour class that they were tasked to make a dance that represented the different stages of mitosis and meiosis, and
it did rock.
It rocked. So
you showed it.
You know who you are, because I think you guys are the only ones that I guess had the.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
it was good.
It was good.
I'll do a shout out.
Okay.
I want to do a shout out to my 5th period American Lit class yesterday. We're talking civil disobedience, and we had the best, most awesome discussion about civil disobedience today, about different views, and there was some real, mighty courage shown in class.
Well,
and
I heard
just some awesome conversation.
I heard them over talking about it being the best class that they have experienced.
That's
so far.
Awesome. It was so awesome. So shout out to y'all. That was awesome. It was a fun class.
Aww.
I love those.
Yes.
We've gone way over today.
Sorry.
Just the way it is.
Final bell?
Final bell. You got schooled. Deuces!
How do we end it? Oh. Clap on! It can't all be bloopers. What's the name of our podcast? Okay. Are we ready?
Should we go again?
Yes.
Damn it, Shell.